worst in a burger.
What?
Just kidding. This is Cooking and Cross Cultures on the Road, and we are back with another episode, and this time we are doing the downtown Sioux Falls Burger Battle, and I'm so excited! So here we are at Windy City Bites. We have their Caribbean jerk burger, I think it's called. What's it called?
The Everything is IRIE Burger?
Oh.
Wow.
And
Burger.
IRIE Ting.
The IRIE Ting Burger.
IRIE Ting.
The IRIE Ting Burger.
Yeah, so we are gonna try this. I have to put some ketchup on my fries.
Ooh.
They put jerk seasoning.
You tried the fries already, okay.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
How you tell me how to do my food? They put jerk seasoning on the fries, but I like a lot of ketchup. Somebody told me, I think it was Willette, that because I like put ketchup all over my fries, I'm a serial killer.
Right.
To the point I've never killed anyone. But anyway.
That's good. That's a good thing.
So let's tell everybody why you're here. So not only do I know you because you are the president of the NAACP,
I am.
where I am the treasurer,
Okay.
but you also were featured in the local news last year.
Yes.
For completing the burger challenge in
It was like 15 days.
15 days.
Yeah.
There were how many burgers last year?
26, 27.
27 burgers last year,
Yeah.
completed 15 days. We are 3 days into 2024. The burger battle started January 1st. There are 37 burgers this year. And how many burgers in are you?
This is number 25. This is number 25.
That's crazy.
This is what it is.
What are you like ingesting the burgers? Like how are you like?
So last year my goal was like I just want to see if I can eat them all. Like I didn't really hear of a lot of people who got them all done, and so I was just like, all right, can I actually finish all these? And so I went through and I ate every single one. I sat there, I made notes. I had a spreadsheet. It was crazy detailed. This year I was just like, okay, so I know I can finish all of them. How fast can I get them all done? Like it's more so about like just the systematic, like figuring out when places are open, when a place is closed, like what's the best route I can take, how efficiently I can do the whole thing. So this year was just like I'm trying to try all of them as quickly as I possibly can. Some places are open, some places aren't. Over here at Windy City Bites was Wednesday at 3 p.m. and that's the first time you can have this burger. The last one that's going to be available is at Glacier Lakes, and that's going to be at 3:30 on Friday. So the real trick is just figuring out when places open, when they're going to be open, where can you get access to them, and then just finishing while they're.
You have a whole plan.
Yeah.
So when you're eating the burgers, like, are you eating the whole burger? Are you taking small bites? Like, how are you like making sure that you don't get too full? Because how many burgers are you eating in a day? Like.
So today I ate. Today I'm probably gonna end up finishing out at like maybe 5 or 6. So I already. So they're kind of split into categories. There are ones that are going to be available during the lunchtime, and there's some available during dinner. And so I've already kind of gotten through all the lunch ones except for 2, which is Papa Woody's and somewhere else. So essentially, what I'll do is I'll actually go through and I'll stop at every single place. And with the first things I do is I go and I take pictures from the front, horizontally. Then I go and take a video of them. And then from there, I'll take a cross-section photo, and that's how I split them in half. And then depending on the burger, like if I look at something and it's way too messy to cut in fourths, I'll just eat half of it. If I can cut it into a fourth, and I look at it, I'm like, all right, I'll cut it into fourths, and I'll eat like a fourth of them. So like, yeah, I've had 24, but really I've probably had maybe 5 or 6 whole burgers, maybe. Yeah, and there's some that are so good you gotta eat the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah, like Swamp Daddies, I'm gonna eat the whole thing. Pave, I'm gonna eat the whole thing. Crave, I'm gonna eat the whole thing.
Okay. So enough talking. Let's actually taste IRIE Ting. That's good.
Okay.
I like it.
Okay.
It has a little like kick. Like it's sweet, and then as you're eating, there's like this fiery taste that kind of like dances on your tongue.
Hey, you didn't have to.
What do you think?
Oh, I like it.
What are your initial like thoughts about the burger?
First of all, I really like the toppings on it. That's really good. The cheese works. The patty's seasoned. I mean, and then there's this fun thing about like heat. Like heat's not supposed to like hit you right away. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think he's supposed to like build. You know, because it's like it's really like when you have a natural heat, it's the acidity of something that's going to break down your taste buds. And so like the actual heat coming in is like kind of building as I eat it. And I like that. I like that a lot.
Do you consider yourself a foodie?
I think so. I was texting back and forth with somebody about one of the burgers, right? And it was like, all right, it's really good. I'm gonna have a couple for the end of the month. And then somebody asked me, they were like, all right, what's your long answer? And so I sat there and I read like 4 paragraphs worth of like breaking the entire thing down. And I think at that point I'm not like a critic, but I'm definitely like someone who's like invested in how my food tastes.
It's so crazy because I like to travel, and I know you do too. But when I travel to eat different foods, for me it's about the experience. Like I'm taking in like the taste, the textures, but I'm not studying the flavors per se. Whereas I feel like when you're eating, you're like, what does this do to my 5 senses type of thing.
Like I work hard, you know. I want to be able to sit there and be like, all right, why do I like this food? I know when I first got my first job, and I actually got to like go out and eat and like pick my own food. It was just very much like, okay, is this worth my money? That was kind of the piece, right? And we're like, this is very good.
Right.
But then, you know, as you kind of get into it more, you're like, how does this work? And then when you start becoming an adult and you start to cook yourself, there's also this other aspect of, could I do this at home? Can I, you know, what's going on here? You know, you start to learn about this thing that you do all the time, which is eating. And it really comes into, you know, it depends on how you like to appreciate things. And I like to appreciate the small details of things. I like to see how, you know, the process is made and how the science behind it is. And so I just love to get the why of things. And so, yeah, I'll study, like, just what's this doing? What is this smell making? How is this affecting my taste? What's the decor here? Like, what do we, like, I like every single aspect of it. I mean, it's one of those things where, yeah, there are a lot of small things that I'm observing, and sometimes you can kind of lose the big picture, but it's like the details are the things that make something special, you know what I mean?
That was like a whole synopsis, like, about food. But again, like I said, like, it's so funny because we both talk about how we're queer. I consider myself a deep thinker as well. But when it comes to food, I guess I'm more so, I don't know, I get lost in my food. So much so that I'm almost not even thinking anymore. It's just about like me and whatever flavors are happening as I'm eating. And so it's interesting that you go through this whole like wave of emotions and thoughts and feelings as you're eating.
Yeah, no, it's this thing we do. It's this thing that fuels us. It's this like eating's really like and I hate to say this, it sounds almost cheesy, but it's like it's this intimate experience. Like from you start eating, it's like nutrients you get from your mother, and then as you become more of an adult, it becomes this social aspect of things. Absolutely, it should be this this thing that you understand, this thing that you strive to kind of enjoy. And so yeah, but then at the same time, I played football for college, and they used to just feed us calories. And so at the same time, I can sit there and I can just like, you know, scoop things into my mouth until I get full. But you know, when you become an adult, you get this opportunity to really just enjoy and deep dive into the things that like you enjoy. You get to pick out. You get to. You know, I'm not eating here because I just need to get 562 calories in order to hit my calorie count, right? I'm here because, you know, I really like how the chef here makes their fries. They're semi-soft and they have a crunchy outside. Yeah. By the way, if you ever go to Swamp Daddy's, ask a girl to make your sweet potato fries a certain way, and they'll be so crunchy on the outside, but like they still taste like a sweet potato on the inside. And you're
Okay.
like, yeah, no, it's amazing because you're reminded that this is a fruit and not just like a fried thing. Some places will just like fry them and they'll be like these crunchy nonsense, but they actually have like a little mushy inside. Right.
I actually don't like my fries to be mushy on the inside. I like them to be crispy.
Okay. I like to be reminded that my food comes from. So I'm an agriculture major, right? I went to Purdue.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I went to,
That explains a lot.
no, so I went to Purdue and I like, food. I studied sustainable agriculture with an emphasis in hydroponics, aquaponics, and soil cultures. So I would spend my summers playing football, but in the mornings if we had afternoon or whatever, I would spend the rest of my day in the organic farm. And so literally I'd be like working on organic plants, and I remember I used to bring home these huge sweet potatoes, these things that were like the size of your head. And all my friends would be like, "What's this? Is this GMO? Is this?" No, it's like that's a sweet potato that the huge markets didn't decide they wanted to be this small so it'd be easier to ship. We'd have a sweet potato the size of a watermelon. And I remember coming home for Thanksgiving my first year and being like, "Here you go." To one of my friends' mom, who makes the best sweet potato pies. She made the best sweet potato pies, and I just brought the sweet potato, and I was like, "Here you go." And she was like, "What is this? Like, what is this? This is a sweet potato. It's really big, but please make me a pie."
Hey. How y'all doing?
But I do want to talk a little bit more about like how you got to Sioux Falls. I know you mentioned going to Purdue and things like that. Can you talk a little bit about like your journey and how you ended up here?
Okay, so yeah, I finished up at Purdue and I got a small job in Illinois, and then it turns out that I just wasn't feeling it, and so then I ended up going over to ended up getting another job here in Sioux Falls. And so whenever somebody asks me like, "How you end up in Sioux Falls?" I'm like, "God and work. I don't know, so you get here."
That's what I always say, God.
Yeah, and so originally in the program that I was in, I was going to be here for a certain amount of time, and I was going to go back in the field, back to my hometown. But then I just never did. I just stayed in here, and I got a chance to kind of work remote when COVID happened and stuff like that. But that was at the same time where interest rates dropped so low. So I went ahead, bought a house. I have friends here. I've established different relationships, and so I just never left. But it's always been nice to be here, and it's a very welcoming community. I always tell people that Sioux Falls is the biggest small town you ever lived in. It has the majority of what you need, and it has some of those things that of what you want. Like I would have never stayed here if Chipotle didn't open, but
am I better than everyone?
Okay.
But it's like that's what Sioux Falls has. And so when you're talking about like going into a place like Augie, you're like, all right, what's around here? It's like, well, you got a nice downtown area that really tries. That really tries and it does things. And then it's also to a point where like you also have the majority of what you're looking for to entertain yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
You get one hip hop show. Like, I'm joking.
I cannot deal.
No, you get a lot of the entertainment that you want. You're close to a lot of different places. Like you want to hop to Minneapolis, if you want to go to Omaha, if you want to go to some of these other pockets, you can easily get there. And then the other fun thing is that you are in like a budding community. You are a part of something that is growing.
Right.
Yeah, so it's to a point where if you want to do something, start doing
Space
it.
and opportunity.
Yeah, just start doing it. If you want to do something like, yeah,
I don't know, reinstate the NAACP.
Right, you want to. The things, if you want to do it, then do it, and then you will find your people. You will find your niche. You'll find your niche, and people will hopefully support you, and you can kind of continue to do it. Yeah, it's really cool. Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about how that happened? Because we are coming up on the 1 year anniversary of the day that the NAACP was reinstated in Sioux Falls after 50 years?
Not at 50 years. It was a very short amount of time.
Okay. I thought it was 50.
Yeah.
Look at me trying to give you more credit than you deserve, but.
I appreciate you.
Like, can you talk about kind of like how that happened and what inspired you to do that?
Well, it was one thing that me and some of the other black leaders in town were talking about for, a solid year or 2 years, things like that. And essentially what happened was that we just couldn't find someone to lead it. It was one of those things where we were talking about it, and then finally I was working a job, and I remember I was looking out the door, and I was watching these kids kind of start to get in a fight. The fight broke out, and I remember just all of a sudden, you hear doof, doof, doof. They're kids that look like they're kids that are our age. They're younger than us, and they're about to ruin their lives doing something like shooting one another, shooting out one another. And you're sitting there, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, you think about it later that night, you're just like, what just happened? Why are we doing this? And then you realize that, there's some kids out here who've never met, black professionals. They've never seen the different part of that. And you often hear that, like, at a certain age, people start to figure out who they are, and the only thing they had to turn to are certain influences that aren't exactly accurate.
Right.
So that being said, it was really important for me to be like, all right, so I see it, I get it. Hey, let's go ahead and do this. And so me and Danae, the secretary, yes, we went ahead and we tried to figure out what does it take to actually restart this. What do we need? How many members do we need? What do we need to actually to get this going? And I had a couple of contacts because I was a part of the NAACP in South Florida, where my dad is the vice president, so I get to make fun of him there. We keep it in the family out here. And so I was able to go down there and kind of talk to him about it. And then I had a couple contacts in nationals, and so it really just became a process that we just got going. And then eventually we had some support from the local community. We got some members, by the way. Join your local NAACP. Donate to your local NAACP.
Yeah, because we need the money.
Don't do that.
Tell them to bring me my money.
Hey, we're always looking for funding. We're always looking for people. We're always looking for people and funding. So by all means. But yeah, no, it was one of those opportunities that we just we had the support and we got to do it. And in a small town like this, there was just support. And it's been a great year. It's been a great year so far. We've established some processes. We've really gotten after some things. We've joined together on some protests. We're starting to become kind of a voice for those who don't have other avenues to go to.
Yeah.
One of the things is my phone is set up to our hotline, right? And I get calls about certain things that happen throughout the state, and it's like, if it isn't us who get to talk about this thing, if it isn't us who bring attention to this problem, but these problems get solved. And as we continue to get processes put together so that we can help these people, it's been this really both sad thing, but also it's very this is great because we get to help.
Right.
And these people look like me and you, and so it's really been this opportunity to really step in and say, we're gonna get some attention on this. No, I know a guy. Let's go ahead and talk to him, or let's go ahead and get this to this avenue. And we've been able to do that on a small scale, and the hope is that next year we can grow that and we get more resources, get more processes. We got our meetings down, so it was the first year of growing pains, but it's also just man, we're going places, and so that was really nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you hope to see for the NAACP in years to come?
I just want to be a recognized organization by the state. I want people to say, I have this problem and I think it's related to this thing. And so let's go ahead and talk to the NAACP. Then the other thing is that I really wanted to make sure that the kids in the state, we have a ton of diversity that is being raised right now in the state that look like, again, me and you. And it's, do they have the opportunities to see professionals, to see people who, they get their money every 2 weeks like everybody else, right? Those people, but then also see the professionals, just to understand their different avenues to go to. Hopefully we have come see for yourselves activities at Hoggy. Hopefully we have different opportunities for for the kids to go experience different things. I know one of the things I saw, some kids don't play ice, some people don't know how to skate on ice. Or they don't know how to ski, or they don't know about tennis that well. They don't know about certain aspects of life that is enriching. And so I just want to hopefully enrich those kids. And then also just, I want there to be resources available for when people need help. And I think that we're growing towards that, hopefully. We have a couple of really important months coming up. Again, donate to your NAACP. But I want those resources available so that we can get people help. When there's an issue with a kid who, in South Dakota, this teacher doesn't know how to deal with that kid, or it looks like us, they think something's wrong with them, or they're intimidated by the parents, or something. Whatever reason it is, I want there to be a resource so we can get that kid help. We can get that kid, all these things. And so I think we're growing, and in the future, the hope is that we just continue to establish ourselves, but become just a wealth of resources for the people in the community that look like me and you.
Yeah. Is there anything else that maybe we haven't talked about that you want our viewers to know?
No, I would say go ahead and just follow us on social media. We have an Instagram, we have a Facebook. If there's something that you think you need help with in the community, by all means, reach out to your NAACP. If you want to start a college chapter, if you want to start a high school chapter, if you want to start a youth chapter, just let us know. If you have the people, we will definitely try to help you with that.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.